welcome to the Stranger Still podcast. I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Miles.
And please welcome back Kirk, who is going to be our newest permanent member as we move through the final season of Stranger Things.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here.
Fully on board.
Sadly, we're not quite to season 5 yet, but we've come up with some super awesome questions that we've never really covered before in our previous podcast. We're really excited to go over that today and have like a third perspective too. So welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
This almost works as the cherry on top of our rewatch. We did season 1, 2, 3, 4.1, 4.2, and now we're just going to kind of, let's debrief. You know what I'm talking about?
It's actually like a nice big recap, but I like the questions we got picked out. So,
well, let's jump right in it.
Let's jump right in. Am I asking the questions or are you asking the questions?
It's all you.
Okay. Question number 1, and we have 11 questions. So buckle in, everybody.
11 for 11. This is for you.
This is for you, 11. Question 1. What's a hot take that only you would bring up about Stranger Things? So an unpopular opinion, a wild theory, a personal reaction. Goal is to surprise. And Kathleen, I think you should kick us off.
You think I should kick us off? Oh, shoot. Okay, well, I said this is like all stuff that we've not covered before, but if you have listened to all of our previous podcasts, you might have heard me touch on this a little bit.
Well, we have done like 70 episodes. So I feel like for us, it was kind of hard.
But my hot take is that I do not think that Will is romantically in love with Mike. I know that is crazy to say.
Wow.
Everyone on the internet is all about it. Even the actor who plays Will, Noah Schnapp's, even he thinks that his character is in love with Mike. So I know I'm probably a huge minority here, but I just don't think that's what's going on. I think Will loves Mike as his best friend. But I think he really has this deep longing to be accepted and loved for who he is. And I think he's got this huge fear that he's never going to be able to experience true love. And he sees that dynamic between Mike and 11. I think he certainly feels some jealousy, which is where I could see people feeling that he is in love with Mike because of that jealousy. But I think it's from longing to have that himself, not necessarily from Mike. Nice. I do think that he really truly loves Mike as his best friend, and he just longs to be able to share this deepest secret about himself, but he is just terrified to do so.
Okay, well, that is an unpopular opinion. I don't fully agree with you. Like I do think Will is in love with Mike. Maybe he doesn't like fully understand like adult romance and like the more complex feelings there. But I feel like Will does feel like he has a crush.
Yeah, but a
Mike.
Crush isn't love though. That's the thing.
Well, when you're 14 though, or 15.
What do you mean by that?
When you're 15, you think it's love.
I mean, I guess I could see that. I could see that point of view, but I just, you see the comparison of Mike and 11's relationship and you know that that's love. And you see Lucas and Max's relationship, you know that's love. Mm-hmm. But I just don't feel like those are the types of feelings that Will is having. But I could concede, I mean, like, definitely when I was 14 years old, there were friends that I had that I was attracted to. I had crushes on. I definitely didn't love them though. And I think the heart of this really is he's terrified to lose his friendship from Mike because he feels like Mike could potentially not accept him because he's gay.
I feel like most people are like, yeah, Will's gay. Like,
well, he definitely is gay.
Definitely,
like, yeah.
Yes. I for sure think he's gay.
But
yeah, I should have led with that, but I don't.
But not in love with Mike.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. He's more upset that he's losing his friend base and having to become an adult kind of thing. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Kirk.
I feel you on that.
You're next. Hot take that only you would bring up.
You guys are not going to like me for this one. This is a hot take. I feel like most people won't like this take.
Well, this is a good thing we started with this question.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion. I don't really like 11. If 11,
Oh, get out. Okay, I know I said he's
let
the
him talk.
news
Let
permanent
him
member,
talk.
but I'm questioning that right now.
okay, all right. So, I mean, okay. If 11 wasn't a superhero, I don't know if she really fits in with the group that well.
Oh my God.
She's pretty arrogant. She's very naive. And she just kind of just says she knows what she knows, but then she's just like really dumb about certain things as well. And she gets away with a lot of her stuff because she's strong. She is like the brawn over the brain. And it's just like, if she wasn't that character, I don't know if she would be that liked by everybody else.
Listen.
Interesting.
How dare you?
How dare I?
You were right. We do not like it. You need to rewatch, my friend.
Do you think that you are?
It's just like, I don't know. She just does things where I'm just like, she just says she can do it. Mm-hmm. Oh, I can do that. I'll find that. Like season 3 where she just like overuses her powers.
Yeah.
She just keeps going for it. And everyone's like, just let her make her own decisions. It's like, well, yeah, but she's been a lab rat her whole life. You have to kind of like help her figure that out as well. But she doesn't want any of that help. She just thinks she can do it.
Okay, listen. I think that what you're really feeling here is not a dislike for 11, but a dislike for the choices that she's made. That being said, you cannot blame her for this. She grew up in a lab.
I'll reserve comment because I have an answer to one of the later questions that is going to contradict what he's saying.
Well,
here. Don't worry.
I'm going to keep ranting here. 11 has had no life outside of a lab before. She doesn't know how the world works. She has like been through literal hell, and like that just messes with you psychologically.
So I get that, but then it's the arrogance of she should know she just came from that world.
See, I don't think it's arrogance though. I think
she's just running around snapping kids' arms, throwing cars.
Well, she does snap.
She's making kids piss their pants. Like, she's kind of a bully herself, which is what makes season 4 a little sad that she gets picked on when she doesn't have.
But I
powers.
think that's part of it. She recognizes that in herself. I'm the monster. I'm the bully. Like I solve everything with violence. Once I don't have violence, I'm nothing. So I think that that's built into the show.
And also, she's been taught to be that way. With like in season 4. Oh man, we could argue about this.
I knew this wouldn't be going to be a popular.
Okay,
opinion.
I have to hear what everybody else has to say about this.
Yeah.
Please comment on this episode how much you now hate Kirk for
It's like permanent member. Let's get him out of here.
He won't be back next time.
Yeah. Well, good thing we started with this. Let's hear my unpopular opinion.
Oh boy.
And if you haven't turned it off yet, you're going to.
Oh no.
Stranger Things is not 80s because Stranger Things is good and things from the 80s suck.
Listen.
Okay.
Movies, TV shows, and music from the 80s suck. Movies, they were rushed and stop. They were rushed and thin. It's a second generation of Reagan-era suits, cutting costs, taking advantage of the monoculture. If you go back to watch movies in the 80s, you don't get the Stranger Things feel because it's not produced well. It doesn't look good. It's not crafted with love. It's crafted rushed. And the only ones that aren't are from the 70s. Just What I Need to Buy the Cars, 70s. Star Wars, 70s. Kraftwerk, all these like different things. Van Halen, this started in the 70s and the early 80s. Once the 80s gets going, things get bad. They use technology to their just tragic ability. They use all these factory presets, these synthesizers. They EQ'd and everything way up. Music sucks. They gated reverb everything. God. It hasn't aged well.
Sucks? Oh.
No, the music sucks. They used a bunch of crappy technology. They stopped using the synthesizers, these beautiful analog synthesizers of the 70s, which, by the way, that's what they're making in Stranger Things. Not the 80s. the 70s, those synths, because they don't want to go to those stupid, boring factory preset synthesizers that they used in the 80s. All I'm saying is, you can go watch things from the 80s. You won't get that Stranger Things hit. Sorry.
Listen.
Ooh, man.
I'm not going to deny that everything that you just said exists in many movies from the 80s, but I'm going to throw out one movie for you right now that I know for a fact you cannot dispute.
Okay.
And that is The Breakfast Club. No. You told me.
He's like,
let me tell you guys
rushed.
a little story. Yeah. Miles told me he always hated The Breakfast Club. And then I watched it one day and he kept peeking in and out. Suddenly goes, wow, this is a really good movie. What is this? The Breakfast Club. He hadn't even seen it, okay?
That's bad.
So
That's bad.
he is going off of a bunch of unfortunately horrible movies that I'm sure that he saw as a forming child.
Yeah. Well, let me say this. I phrased it that way for shock value.
Oh, yeah.
The music thing is true. The music thing, the 80s music has not aged as well. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you that.
Okay.
It
Well, the
hasn't aged
Breakfast
as well.
Club soundtrack is pretty darn good.
Okay.
Pretty sure that was written in the 70s.
No. Okay. Let me just say, I don't really think the 80s suck, but I just wanted to phrase it that way. What I really think is, if you finish Stranger Things, you're like, man, I'm ready to watch some 80s stuff. You won't be pumped. You won't be pumped to go back and watch that after watching Stranger Things. Stranger Things is crafted with so much more love. The music is not 80s. It's not 80s. The Dixonstein soundtrack has got bass. It's got dynamics. It's got minimalism. It's got craft. Like, I don't know.
But the thing is, like, you say that, but I watch Stranger Things and it gets me excited for The Breakfast Club specifically. Okay. That's the movie I always get excited about. Just that feeling. So
I like the references, but like thinking like the 80s were great and you get that nostalgic feel from it. You're like, it's kind of it's fake imposed.
Okay,
in
there
a way.
were a lot of bad things from the 80s, and I know it's putting a bad taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
I know that you are constantly frustrated with some of the absolutely horrible music from the 80s.
Yeah, there's a reason.
I get that, and I think that is coloring your view.
Yeah. We did a great job.
Man.
I mean, that for the first question, what it says is unpopular opinion, wild theory, or personal reaction. What's a hot take that only you would bring about Stranger Things? Just round of applause for the host.
Are we going to survive the rest of this podcast?
Know.
Are they?
No one else is listening.
Yeah. The rest of these questions get a little better. Okay, they're not as they're not as divisive.
Oh my god!
All right, I wanted to start us hot. I wanted to start us hot.
After this first question, I really do want to hear from our listeners. Please tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us if you agree with any of our hot takes.
Tell us if you listen through,
or if you hate us and you now have to just never listen to us again. We want to know.
All right, question 2.
Less divisive.
Yeah, Kirk, we'll start with you. Which character do you understand the most? So not necessarily your favorite character, but one you relate to on a personal level.
This one was one of the harder questions for me to answer because I'm not exactly like anyone like specifically.
Right.
But I think like if most relatable, I think Lucas. He's kind of got that athlete and nerd in him. I'm kind of that way as well. Yeah. I'm very athletic, but I'm also very nerdy, good at math, love, weird things.
I can see that.
Weird things.
But then I'm also kind of like skeptical and realistic. Like season 1, he's like, why are we trusting this person so quick?
Definitely skeptical.
And, he's trying to come up with different ways to do things. Like they make up the plan for Max, and even at the end, he's just like, maybe we can do this instead. That's kind of more what I would do instead of just rushing into a plan. I'm more like, let's feel out all the options. And
let's
then
see if we can find another kid.
I can see that.
Right? So, I mean, in that way, I related to Lucas the most, I think.
Okay. You were the first person that I know to side with Lucas in the early season 1 parts where he's against 11. So, because we were both with Mike. Yeah. We believe in the magic of that initial connection. He knows she's good. But you're the Lucas guy.
I'm a skeptical person,
And with the sports tie-in, that I could really see that.
Yeah,
that's a good one, Kirk. I thought you were going to.
Well done. Yeah. Okay.
It took me a while to think.
Maybe
of it.
we're coming back together here.
You want me to go or you go?
So my character
waves them off.
Shoo, I've got this. Before becoming a mom, so you already know where this is going. I would have had a really hard time answering this question, but since having my little boy and then rewatching Stranger Things, oh my goodness, I relate to Joyce so much more than I ever did before. I tell you, the power of a mother's love, it is boundless. So watching her, I mean, some people would look at her and think like she's just in denial. Obviously, we know she's not because Will is still alive, but she just intuitively knows her son is still out there. And I don't know if I would really know that in real life, but I feel like my connection to my baby boy is that strong. Also, she would do anything. She does literally anything and everything. She moves mountains to save Will's life, to protect him at all costs. And I feel that if I would jump in front of a bullet, I would donate my kidney. I would donate my heart if they let me to save my boy. So I don't know. I just had such a better perspective of her when we rewatched this time. Which made me really excited to just experience Stranger Things in a new way. So yeah, that's my character. I just understand her so much better now. Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Joyce.
I agree with that one. That's what I was thinking you were going to say coming into this. I was like, you do have a kind of Joyce qualities too.
Am I crazy? Because I was going to say, I'm not really like at that level.
Sometimes you get a little frantic, you're like setting up a party and you're just in like 7 places at once,
like there's 4 minutes left. You're like, we have to mop the floor. So you're getting the mop.
Right. It's like, all right, so let's slow down.
Oh, golly.
Yeah. Well, mine is lard ass. The kid that Billy yells at the pool at the beginning of season 3. I'm kidding.
Get out of here.
I would be I wasn't a fat kid, but I would have been the kid caught breaking the rules at the pool. Anyway, and mortified about it. Mine is Mike. I feel I identify with Mike a lot, as like the leader, the uncomfortableness of sometimes leading a group that's like really a democracy. He pushes things forward at key times. I get frustrated just as he gets frustrated with Lucas and Max and Will, who they are on their perches and they're not in charge, but they get to be skeptical and say, why don't we just go with the flow? It's like someone has got to move this forward. Like Max gets to say, we make our own rules while benefiting from what the rules created, and like Will is like, why can't there be 2 Venkmans? Because there aren't 2 Venkmans, Will. Because we have to try to do something. And Dustin gets to enforce the law, but then he just hides Dart whenever he wants to. Like, I get so frustrated with everybody.
This is definitely, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And like,
when you explain it that way, I can really see it.
And then I also understand the insecurity too. That like, well, does anyone really want a guy in charge? Like, who am I to be in charge? Like, I really like.
That part I don't agree with.
No, I do have that. No, and so does he. But I do have the, it's like you're constantly alternating between that. The things I don't identify with, like I'm the older brother, so I don't identify with the whiny younger brother stuff of Mike. That's on Kirk. I'm more than Nancy in that dynamic.
Poor Kirk.
And he has a girlfriend really early. I didn't have a girlfriend through all of school, so
I mean, to be fair, his
girlfriend
is
Florida.
He doesn't know what a basketball tournament is, so I'm a sports maniac. So it's not perfect, but I just think Mike is his leader stuff. That's me,
and I'll be your friend Lucas.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be perfect.
All right, I'll start us on question 3 because I have a quick answer, so I can just kind of. Question 3: who is the most underrated character, and why do they deserve more love? So someone way outside the main popular characters that you think is overlooked. Mine is Becky Ives, the Aunt Becky, who for 11. I have besmirched her in the past because in our first rewatch, I thought that she had called Brenner, but she's actually calling Hopper. But she's just salt of the earth, man. She's like, man, Terry would have liked you. She's like sympathetic to the hippies, but not like a blind follower. And when she gets the shock of her life, that Jane was actually alive and the baby was actually lived, and she didn't believe any of it. And I hope she got a return call for someone to tell her that she's okay.
Is she still sitting at home with her sister wondering like what to do next?
Right. Yeah. So I'm sure she did, but Aunt Becky doesn't get any love. But just rewatching it, just the salt of the earth, like just her like mournfulness when she's with 11. 11 treats her like shit. By the way, like stop talking, like
right.
Though obviously 11 is a little upset too that she didn't believe her. But that's mine. Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
I know Kathleen's got a good one, so you go next.
Got a good one. Okay.
No, I want to hear what yours. I want to compare it to see if mine's better than yours.
Oh, wow, okay. I wasn't sure if this was far enough off of the main character list, but Owens.
Oh yeah,
Owens does.
I love Owens.
A lot of things that become very important as things move along.
Yeah,
just the making 11 a person, and giving 11 to Hopper. Now it's Jane Hopper. That's your daughter. Like doing that is huge. He's like one of the only people that actually believes what the group tells him.
Right.
Like in season 2, when Joyce is going crazy. What's wrong with my son? He's like, man, we really don't know.
Right.
Hopper's like, what's up with these rotting pumpkins? You better check that out. And he's like, maybe we should check that out. And he's eventually in season 4, he's bought into it. Yeah. He's like, the government's wrong about this. These people are right. I've seen it with my own eyes, And he does all that for 11. He's right back in her corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he does a lot of good for the group, but he's not really in the group.
He ends up being an absolute good guy.
Yeah. And you call an emergency.
Yes.
Call Owens.
Yes.
That's kind of the dude.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you said that because I had a hard time picking somebody at first, and that is who I kept thinking of. And I thought the same thing. Like, I don't know if he's too in the show to bring up, but
he doesn't get enough love for the part that he plays. Like,
no.
This probably doesn't.
I mean, he's not even in season 1 or 3. Like, 3's in the very end.
You're right. I just want to see him in season 5 just to make sure he made it out of there.
Yeah, last we saw him, he's handcuffed to a radiator.
Yeah.
So
son of a bitch.
I feel like he'll be in it.
Yeah,
he's got to have a final something.
And you've never been able to fully trust Owens because of his character in Alien. You're like, is he a bad guy? So one reason why he might not get love is because it's kind of played as, is this guy good or bad? Yeah.
When he brings Nancy and Jonathan into the lab and he's showing them and he gives them that veiled threat, like you really don't know. Right. You're on the fence about that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Who's yours, Kathleen?
Okay. Well, mine is the receptionist of the police department, Flo. I just love her. She has this sass and just motherly disdain for the men that she works with. Just the men in general, because you think of Jonathan being dumb. Specifically though, she is kind of like a mother figure for Hopper. And I love that. She has this no nonsense attitude. She's trying to get him to stop smoking. She gets him the dress shirt to go on the date with Joyce. Yeah. I mean, she's got his back at all times. I don't know, trying to keep him on track, checking in on him regularly. Yeah. She's pretty great.
Yeah, so even pre-season 1, she's really in Hopper's worst, most depressed and destructive time. She's keeping him tethered.
Yes.
She does deserve more love.
I know.
Babe. I like that
one.
Yeah,
that's a good one. Yeah.
I just, oh gosh, she's
Coffee
so funny.
and contemplation.
Yes. I like that one. That's a good one.
She does not get enough love.
You were right, but you said you had a good one. You had a good one. All right. Question 4. If you could follow one character during a missing off-screen story, what would it be? And that can be even between seasons or between something we don't see, a mini episode or sequence that you wish existed. And when we go back to you, Kathleen.
This is just kind of fun for me. Okay. Mine is Argyle. I mean, what is his life like outside of what we see on screen?
At any time?
We know he's a senior in high school. We know that Jonathan is his only friend. But what's his home life like? Are his parents have got to be mega hippies. That's where it has to come from, right? Or is he the black sheep of the family? He has the most basic middle class family, and then he's just yeah, dude.
Are they
Purple
wondering where
palm tree delight? Yeah, and are they like, where does his family think that he is?
Yeah.
Like, are they not absolutely worried for his life? And he doesn't seem to care that they might be worried either. He doesn't bring them up at any point. So, like, I don't know. But
Could
then
happen
you
off
think,
screen.
like, if his parents are super mega hippie, they're like, live free, man. We give you all the freedom. They could think that he's on some sort of journey, you know? Like,
Okay. So you want to
spiritual
see
journey.
you want to see Argyle's home life.
Yes,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
do.
Yeah, and work doesn't care where he's been either.
No.
He went from California to Indiana.
Is he clocked in briefly in Nevada
Yeah,
to cook a pizza?
yeah, like that's it.
Yeah.
All right. What about you, Kirk?
I kind of had like almost like a prequel.
Okay.
Oh.
If I had to do a spin-off prequel, I would love to see Murray the conspiracy theorist.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Murray just tried because he's so like when you first meet him. I mean, like first is like the cop, and then he meets him when Nancy and Jonathan come over, and he's
Yeah.
got the strings and all of this stuff. I would love to see him take his demise to that point where he bunkers himself in, and just
Yeah.
he's like, how did he get to that point?
Right.
Because he was a major journalist before.
Murray,
He had
the
to have been
prequel.
a normal person. Something happened there, and it just sent him down a rabbit hole, man.
Uncovered
yeah.
too many bad stories.
How did
probably.
he learn Russian so fluently?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? A Murray prequel would be friggin' awesome
God,
to me.
that's so
Yeah.
good. I want to change my answer to that.
You can't.
But he's my favorite, though. How dare you steal this from me?
Yeah, it could happen, you know?
All right. My answer came from a fake answer that you gave, Kathleen, which is you wanted to see Bob working at Radio Shack, just normal, just straight up taking just a shift.
Oh, my
So
gosh.
my answer is Robin and Steve working at the video store.
Oh.
You could do a 10-episode season.
Oh, yeah.
Of just Robin and Steve.
All the conversations.
Yeah, Robin lays out the premise of the show. Steve's got all the moves and no idea what he wants. I know
Yeah.
exactly what he wants and no moves. Like, let's just be in that video store and just watch Steve try to get a girl, watch Robin deal with just listen
It's
to
like
them.
their own
Yeah.
little sitcom that they
Exactly.
do.
Yeah, just a little
20-minute episode.
Season 3.5.
Yeah.
And it's just a little sitcom. That like 10 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And
I
you can
like
go
that.
full nostalgia on so
Yeah.
many movies, too. Like, that'd be great.
Oh yeah,
like,
there's so many like different
you
things
know,
there.
They bring in, like, Back to the Future and all that stuff, but
Oh,
it'd
yeah.
be like, it seems like Robin actually is like a movie fanatic.
yeah,
Yeah.
she definitely
yeah.
is.
Yeah, oh, totally.
They can talk about how much they all suck.
Yeah, right?
My backup was Eddie and the Corroded Coffin and the band playing for the 5 drums.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that'd
would have
be
been a
kinda
good
cool.
Actually,
one.
I'd love to see like the band going through like the events of the first 3 seasons. Like Eddie and the band being like, the lights all went up and like something happened at the fair.
Just playing the gig and the
Yeah,
lights
just
go
like-
out and they're like,
Oh,
what's
that's
going
funny.
Like
on?
a Rosencrantz
Yeah.
and Guildenstern situation where
That's
they're just
good.
like, what's going on?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a tough one for everybody. That was good.
That was
Yeah,
good.
that's fun.
Question 5. What acting performance made you feel the most and why did it stick with you? So 11 or Will or the intensity of Joyce or the grief of Hopper. What hit the hardest? Let's start with you, Kirk.
So sad one was Max. Oh. When Max is going down, like after she gets the snap it to Max,
Okay, so piggyback episode, final.
piggyback episode when she's like, you know, she gives that confession like, I don't want to die, like
Right.
that just, I don't care. You can watch that again and again, and you just get to that heart feeling like so relatable.
Yes.
But I also wanted to pick one that's not so sad.
Okay.
Steve and Robin in the bathroom.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
season 3.
When Robin finally like confesses that she's a lesbian, the way Steve deals with that, and they immediately make fun of that girl for singing.
Tammy Thompson.
Yeah, that is fantastic. That scene just can put a smile on my face just thinking about it.
And their
That is a
acting
great
is
scene.
really believable, too. Like,
yeah.
you could just totally see this
Yeah.
playing out in real life.
And there's such relief for Robin. Like it's almost like a
Yes.
giddiness that they get. Like
Yeah.
they're gonna be friends.
Yeah, and it just like, you know, it was just, it didn't look like it was gonna go there, and it just
Yeah.
like immediately right there, and you're like, oh, these two are great friends. This is perfect.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do mine, and I'm just gonna directly contradict your answer to the first question. And my acting performance that made me feel the most is the first couple episodes of Millie Bobby Brown and 11.
Okay.
And I think
God. And
where
you see how amazing she is.
where we strike a similar tone is I don't believe the text makes any sense. 11 doesn't know the word friend or promise, but yet is able to make all these connections, you know, to the boys and to the kids and to the party. And she's able to like kind of be a little sassy, like not make the Millennium Falcon float, but then when Dustin's gone, make it float. But yet she doesn't know like these basic words or these basic concepts.
Yeah.
I don't think it makes sense on paper, but it makes sense emotionally. It resonates with me because of Millie Bobby Brown, especially in the closet, in the scene in The Weirdo on Maple Street. By the way, best title of the whole series.
Oh, yeah.
I think she plays naive, but balances the line of not dumb. You know, I don't know. She's raising. If she wasn't able to do that, this whole show doesn't work. So for me, it is that early Millie Bobby Brown acting.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I think you need to rewatch, Kirk. I think
I might have to rewatch because season one, I pounded 4 seasons in like 4 weeks here.
That's true. That's
Simmer
true.
in it for a bit.
And
Simmer.
I've told you before how much I dislike Joyce first rewatch.
Okay.
I was so against Joyce at first, and then I came around to her.
Yeah, now you like her.
A lot of things will change.
Well, mine is also 11, but I want to touch on what you said. My all-time best, my favorite, biggest feeler was that one, the one with
Steve and Robin?
No.
Oh, Max.
Yeah,
Max
with
and
Max
Lucas,
and Lucas. I like it gets me every time. It's like such a powerful scene, and it's so like visceral. Every time I see it, like you just want to cry out as a watcher of the show.
When he calls out to Erica,
Yes.
says just something like,
oh my gosh, she just is gut wrenching. But I also didn't want to pick that one. I wanted to pick something.
I had to give it an honorable mention.
So,
you know,
this is like such a subtle moment, but I felt the shame and discomfort and the like need to appear that everything was okay from Millie Bobby Brown's acting. And this was the scene where they're at the skating rink. Mike has just gotten there and they're putting on their skates.
Okay.
And Will has just yelled at 11 for basically lying to Mike this whole time. And he walks back up and she is like feeling all of that shame and being like totally not fitting in where she's been, but also trying to cover it up and pretend like everything's okay. All of that playing across Millie Bobby Brown's face in that short scene is incredible. Her range as an actor is like, I think she is like one of the best actors of her time, really.
Yeah.
I think she is going to continue to do amazing things. And it's because of subtle scenes like that. Yeah. Like, you really felt that moment.
They were really smart to make season 4 about Max and 11 because 2 very strong star actors.
Yeah. Gosh.
I'm surprised none of us said Dacre Montgomery and Billy. I thought at least one of you guys was going to give a Billy.
I thought about it. But
That's
I didn't
so
know,
good too.
He was good. I couldn't pick like a specific spot in season 3. Really, like just there was. He was good throughout.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It's kind of more of an arc.
I guess I'd have an advantage on this one because I haven't really dived into the celebrity part.
Right.
I don't even really know all the actors' names at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I still know Steve as Steve. I couldn't tell you who. I've seen the credits, but I'm not sure like where he is on what name he is.
Joe Keery. He's also a musician. He's got a band out.
I'll go through it.
Yeah. It's also called Joe, but it's DJO. It's been pretty good. His music's pretty good.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
All right. Question 6. So it's kind of the opposite. We talked about diving into a scene, talking about the acting performance there. Now we go to what character had the best long-term arc from season 1 to 4 or 2 to 4, just across seasons, looking at their growth, their struggle, and their change. And Kirk, let's start with you again.
Oh, I got 2. I don't know if I picked the same as somebody else.
Well, do 1 and then come back to it.
I think I gotta go Steve. I was kind of talking about this in our season 4, just his development from being like just a kind of classic punk, teenager who's popular, just getting away with it, rich family, he's playing sports, he's Steve the Hare Harrington.
Yeah, the first boyfriend.
Yeah. And he just kind of gets the, as he puts it, I needed to get thumped. I think he says that in season 4, he finally acknowledges it. But his fall to that point is great. Like season 2, he's just like, he goes with Dustin. You know, he becomes friends with a bunch of teenage boys that are way younger than him, a bunch of nerds, you know, and he's the cool guy. In season 3, all of a sudden he's working at an ice cream store, probably at his lowest.
Humbling.
You know, but he's still like, he kind of embraces his nerdness a little bit more.
Yeah.
But he still recognizes that he's kind of the cool guy of the nerds. So that the nerds need to realize
he's still on top, just in a smaller group.
The nerds have gone too far this time, right? It's like, we need to step it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And they keep calling him, you know, the babysitter. He even complains about being the babysitter, and he's kind of just, you know, the parent of the kids. And I think he does a great job of that, embracing that role.
Yeah.
Because where he started, you never thought Steve was going to be that guy.
Right.
No.
Steve's going to be like in charge of the little kids, you know, friends with Dustin.
Yeah,
you know?
not even a thought.
Yeah.
No.
Him in that reaction with Robin in season 3 never would have happened in season 1.
Right.
You're right.
So, like, you know, I just think, you know, and he's, you know, pretty brave. He never really loses that, but he's still like kind of skeptical to certain things, but he's also believes people.
Yeah.
You know, and he figured out his role well. You know, and it took him a while to actually get there. It's definitely a season-long arc, or a series-long arc. Yeah.
I like that's a good
answer.
one. Yeah, I didn't have that one. Let us, if we don't say your second guy, come back to him.
Okay.
Second gal.
I feel like somebody's going to say it. But.
Oh, well, I don't know. Maybe I'm about to say it.
Flo.
Flo. You know, she's not even in season 4, which is so disappointing. I just want to throw that out there. She's only in seasons 1 through 3.
We need Flo and Mr. Clark in season 5. Duffers, if they're not there, get them there now.
Come on. No, my character is Lucas. It's Lucas for me. When we did that character by character episode, you know, listeners, go back and re-listen to that. He had been my least favorite of the group, and not because I truly didn't like him, but I just felt I could not relate to him in any way in season 1. But he just transformed as a character throughout the season. In season 1, it set the foundation for his devotion to Max, if you really think about it, because what happens in season 1, what makes him look arrogant, is actually his devotion to his friends. That he doesn't want this outsider, this outside freak coming in. He's there to protect his friends. He ends up realizing that he was wrong, and he grows from that moment. But you are able to see, because of season 1, that connection, how that works with him and Max. He's totally devoted to Max, unyieldingly devoted to her. And just watching that slowly develop as he has grown from a child to a young adult is just incredible. And he does a really good job as an actor, specifically playing this out throughout each season too.
Oh, yeah, it really matures very naturally. I really I feel that at the end. I think I've said before, Lucas and Max right before Snappa to Max, as we call it lovingly here, when they go, they ask each other out on a date, and they writing out on the piece of paper.
Oh yeah,
that feels like they're about to go into an adult relationship or a more adult relationship. I was close to saying Nancy here, but I just don't feel like Nancy's arc is quite where I want it to be. She's 80% there. I think Nancy and Will have the most work in season 5.
Yeah.
For Nancy for her guilt over Barb, Will for his total trauma.
Yeah.
and
had a hard
more
life
to come, I'm sure. So I'm going with Hopper. This particular rewatch, I really identified with Hopper, and it's a series-long arc that I don't think gets talked about enough. Obviously, Hopper has one of the greatest arcs of all time in season 1.
Yes.
From the man he is, smoking on the porch with his librarian liaison, and and to the person he becomes with Joyce and believing in her and finding hope again and saving Will.
Yeah.
That's legendary. But after that, he really struggles with this masculinity stuff. You don't ask for help. You don't need someone to need you. The man gets it done. That mentality that surely his parents had and surely his grandparents had.
Yeah.
It's like the World War II and World War I generations, and he is fighting through that. He literally says, I needed them, as if it's the worst thing in the world.
Right.
As if he deserves to die because of that. And while Nancy is,
sad.
Nancy's kind of on the opposite. She's like shucking all the just barriers that are put on women in that time. And she's battling through that. And that's really cool. Hopper is also releasing some of that just like toxic masculinity that he's like, when he hugs Joyce and he's like, yeah, I need you. And that's okay. Like that arc was so much more apparent to me this time. And I just really liked it. I'm just going to say Hopper.
It's easy to overlook that because of his transformation throughout season 1. You think like the whole arc happens in season 1, but God, that's such a good one because he does continue to develop from there.
Yeah, and people just hate him in the early season 3, the fat red tomato Rambo Hopper. But
see, I hate that. I loved him the whole time.
I love him too, but he's in it there. He's in it like he's just not.
Yeah. That was my second one. Was Hopper?
Hopper was the second one. Okay, what else did you have on that?
Oh, I just like when he gets to become a father again.
Yeah,
like him trying to embrace that with like somebody that's kind of older. He's not really like he just his story. Like he's so hurt in season 1, and then just him being able to stop being the brute.
Yeah,
really. Yeah, and just kind of accepting that these people need me, I need them. That deal, and him just finally getting back.
Right,
like his last little scene when he finally gets back to Hawkins and gives a hug. You can just see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man, he finally made it. He kind of gets it now.
Finding his place within the team, and Steve finding like both of those things, I think are really good to bring up.
Yeah.
All right, question 7. If you could be in the background of any scene, what would it be? You're just hanging out in the setting and observing from afar. And I'll go ahead and say mine is a Star Court Food Court Mall in season 3. Season 3, chapter 1, just the first time we see it. Yeah. I wish I knew the mall in the heydays like that.
Oh, so cool.
Like we knew the mall like 15 years later. It's a sad place you go to JCPenney.
Yeah, right. It wasn't like popular. Everybody wanted to go.
Yeah,
it's the place to be.
Cool.
I don't think it was sad by then. I still loved going to the mall, but it was absolutely not what it was in the 80s.
This is when it was new. Yeah. It was like truly the center of America.
How cool that would have been to be able to experience that.
And it was cool just to see it. Cool to see. Okay, so we had the same one.
Yeah,
okay.
it was absolutely the same one. I initially was going to say none. This is a dark show. I don't want to be in the back. I don't want to be in danger.
The Russian base of Kamchatka.
Even the mall. Like, good God.
That's why I said early. I don't want to be at the mall at the end.
I love specifically when they're shopping, all of the outfits and everything. Oh, that's so cool. And when...
Not a fan of that part.
Oh my gosh. I love it.
Though,
and then when Steve and Dustin are looking for the Russian guy and they follow the aerobics instructor, like that too, just having aerobics in the mall, that's not a thing anymore. You only do that at the gym now.
Just everyone's there doing all sorts of stuff.
Yes, it's so fun.
Yeah. Well, what's yours, Kirk?
So I had one, I had two, but one's real quick.
Okay.
It would have been hilarious to just be some guy fishing on the quarry when Mike goes off and just hangs in the air and floats back to the top. And I'm just like, holy moly.
How many beers deep am I?
Right?
Yeah.
But
I've got to stop drinking.
Yeah, that's a great one.
But if I was in the show, like if I wanted to be in the back of something, I would have loved to have been in Mr. Clark's class with those kids and Dustin, yes, my lord, and the drum rolls and Max comes in, just like that. Being in that class would have been awesome.
He's just such a good teacher. You'd learn so much too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I like that. Just opened up a whole new just. Being at the intersection while the meat flare goes across the parking lot.
Right.
Did you see that?
It's chasing the Subaru. Like, you're just waiting for a red light. Like, and the Subaru goes by and...
turn on the signal left.
It's not a Subaru. I believe it's like an Oldsmobile. It's like a...
Isn't that a
station
Subaru?
wagon?
No, not a Subaru.
It's whatever they drive in National Lampoons.
Yes,
and I'm
it's
trying
not
to
a
remember
Subaru.
It now. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It's not a Subaru.
Oh, okay, all right. Well,
it's a station wagon.
Yeah.
Little moments like that where I'm out of trouble, but I got to see something weird. That would be awesome.
Okay, good answers. All right, question 8. We'll stay with you, Kirk, here. What moment or choice do you wish had gone differently? So obviously we're not a show that trashes Stranger Things very much. We're a positive podcast. But what would you rewrite or reimagine for... Am I at the wrong question?
Oh, yeah, you skipped a 10.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So number 8 here. Let me take over from here.
Sorry.
I was like, wait, what?
Number 8. I know we're both like, we did this wrong.
Oh God.
So number 8 is the nostalgia factor.
Okay,
Which
sorry.
80s reference do we personally connect with most? And you know what? I'll take over from here because
Okay.
I'm just so excited. The Light Bright, man. I mean, I know it's a little thing, but obviously I grew up in the 90s, but I had a Light Bright and it was one of my favorite toys to play with. But also watching them frantically put all the plastic pegs in there, I just felt that frustration so much because there's so many holes on that and it takes forever to get him in there. And like my sister and I would have little races about like who could get him in faster. It was such a fun toy. Seeing that just like connected me to my childhood so much. I loved it.
Oh yeah. For me, it was landline telephones.
Oh gosh, yes, that's such a good one.
Having to find numbers through the yellow pages,
Yeah.
or like
Yep.
looking it up on the database at the video store, just like the little things like that, I don't
Right.
think they really have had answering machines, and then, the show doesn't seem to have any answering machines.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, just like the whole dealing with that, how many times a cell phone would have come in handy.
Oh my
Right.
gosh, right? It would have solved so many problems.
Like, thank goodness for Dustin and his walkie-talkies and the batteries, but even
They need
those
those.
aren't in range all the time. But like a cell phone could have helped almost every season. Somebody to call somebody.
Except for they are incredibly traceable. And the government.
The government might have had a little track on them.
So,
So were the
some of the
landlines, because you could see that happen all the time too. Yeah. But yeah, I love that old nostalgia of just having to
Yes.
call
Oh
somebody
my
on that,
gosh.
calling a household to get hold of somebody else. It's just
When they're
great
calling
times.
California all of season 4 and it's busy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's been busy for 3 days. Well, she's a telemarketer.
I just remember getting in trouble for holding up the line.
Yeah.
You
growing up,
would,
yeah.
right? You would.
Oh, come on.
catching that busy signal. Yeah.
All right, mine is from season 1, and since season 1 is set in 1983, I feel nostalgic about the hype and just afterglow of Return of the Jedi that the boys feel. Dustin, Mike, Lucas, Will, they've just gone through like the summer of Return of the Jedi. The wait after Empire Strikes Back and the twist there, which spoilers for Empire Strikes Back from 1980, but Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
Oh my gosh.
A gasp.
But that wait was so big, and the kids were so mad. The ramp up to that third movie was huge, like legendary. Like I feel it passed from elementary school playgrounds from 83 all the way to when I was in elementary school in the mid 90s. Like it was like passed down through the scrolls and parchments of the playground. This like hype and love of Return of the Jedi, and they talk about Yoda, they talk about Millennium Falcon, they talk about Darth Vader, they talk about Lando, like all of that different stuff, and that just made me feel like warm and fuzzy. Like I would have wanted to. I guess I didn't even live it, so I don't know if it's pure nostalgia, but I just wanted to live that moment when Return of the Jedi was hot and sexy.
Hot and sexy.
I like that. Yeah.
Kathleen, I thought you were going to say the black toilets.
Oh my gosh, those.
There was toilets in was it the Wheeler house, right?
Yes, I think so. Of course, Ted would have black toilets. God, those are so like cringy, especially looking back at. But I like seeing them in movies, like all the really cool houses that had the black toilets, and just gross though.
I also liked video stores.
Oh yeah.
Just having a video store, stopping in to get the video you wanted to watch. There's no streaming services, nothing like that.
Right.
You had to go to a Hollywood Video or a Blockbuster.
Yeah.
That mom and pop one by Lake Goodwin.
Yeah.
Like that's what this one reminds me of.
Yeah. I went to one Crazy Mike's in Bellingham. I think it's still open.
Oh.
But,
Check it out, folks.
Yeah, right?
All right. I have the questions all out of order. So what's next?
Okay, so the next one this is like your golden time here. Best music moment. Which song choice hits the hardest?
Yeah. And we're not talking Running Up That Hill or Metallica.
Oh yeah, not the major hits.
Or
Like
Never Ending
Super
Story.
popular.
Like let's at least go. And I tried to go like as deep as I could, but ultimately I had to stay true to my heart. And the biggest thing that makes me feel great and hits hard in the music is the kids theme. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Yes. Yeah.
That's when we're in Mike's basement right at the beginning. First time we meet them, we hear it like early in every season. It's like a warm blanket that comes over. We hear that when they're gathering up quarters and walkie-talkies to go to the arcade in season 2. We hear it even at the beginning of season 4 when Mike is getting ready for school and he's late and Nancy's like, you got to go. And they're like, you got to be home early or no, sweetie pie. We hear like, do.
Yeah. It like brings you home to them every time you hear it.
Just the sound, the warm fuzz of that. So just put it on. Just Google it. It's called Kids. And it is a blanket. And
Kids
by the
from
way,
Stranger Things.
Yeah. And by the way, if it was actually from the 80s, it would have been EQ'd to hell and it sounded like absolute shit.
All right, get out of here. Get out of here. That's enough from you.
Turn his mic off.
Getting that high horse again. All right,
I'm sorry.
Did you have one?
Yeah. Oh, I've got one, Kirk. I want to hear yours.
I really liked Fire and Rain. James Taylor.
What a call.
It's subtle because it's not like over the power. It's just they're driving in the camper. And this is when and Steve makes us talk to Nancy about the little nuggets.
Okay, this is the 6 little nuggets.
And then Lucas goes back and talks to Max. And that's just like, it's a really like in context because you're kind of like waiting for this moment to arrive. And it's like, fire and I've seen rain.
Yeah.
And I've seen sunny days when I could not find a friend, but I always thought I'd see you once again.
Yeah.
And it's just like this, like almost, it's such a nice song, but it's kind of that impending doom.
Yeah, didn't you think it was a precursor to Steve's death? Because I so thought it was.
Well, like goes over Lucas and Max's convo too.
Oh my gosh.
And it goes through the whole, like that whole bus, that whole camper ride. Yeah. It's just kind of that song playing in the background. And it's such a nice song, but it's also kind of ominous in that situation for where they're going. So I really like that one.
A perfect AM radio song for the camper. Because it's like 15 years old at that point, right? It's like early 70s.
Yeah, I feel like it was that because, the Beatles signed them, Apple Music.
That's right. They signed James Taylor. That's right.
Well, mine is in season 1, the end of season 1. When it's cold, I'd like to die.
Moby.
What really felt like if season 1 was a standalone season, if that like they were not going to continue with the Stranger Things, what that ending would be is when all the emergency vehicles are pulled up to the school. You see Karen frantically looking for Mike, and then she sees him and they embrace, and he's crying because he's just like freshly lost 11. I don't know, like the melody of that just makes you feel all the feelings even harder. And then they bring it back again for Eddie's death, which just like makes you feel the ending of season 1.
What a knife twist that is.
All over again. I don't know. Like for me, I had just fallen in love with Stranger Things because of season 1. And season 1 will always be my favorite. That's when I fell in love with all of these characters. They all came to life for me. The story just is so good.
Nice.
So yeah, that's mine.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I also like the Sunny Day one, where the sauna test, the end of that one.
We'll meet again.
Oh my God!
Don't know when. As we just see the Blade just standing there in the basement.
Yes.
I'd only heard that song from Johnny Cash in that last album. He covers
that. Yeah.
And it was a whole different version of that. Mm-hmm.
God, it makes it like a horror movie.
Yeah.
And that's from the 40s.
Yeah,
like that's during the war. Yeah. So cool that they did that. And, Moby is from the 90s. So, like, they really don't go right to the 80s. Because 80s music sucks. But anyway.
They ruined
it in the 80s,
I mean, there's Prince and Michael Jackson and Bruce Springsteen and Madonna in the 80s.
Yeah, I was going to say Madonna.
I am being funny, everybody. Jeez.
Yeah, right. Take a chill.
We're going to lose all of our listeners here.
I know. All right, second to last question.
Yep.
Number 10.
Which moment or choice do you still wish had gone differently? And can I start out this one?
Absolutely. What are you rewriting? What are you reimagining?
For me, and it still hurts, especially after just finishing the rewatch, finding out that Vecna was behind it all. He's the mind flayer. He's the meat flayer. He was the all-around villain from the start.
It was always you.
I was so let down by that moment. To me, the Upside Down was like, I don't know, it had its own like evil, this unknown ancient evil. And to find out that it's this, this earth dwelling guy that was just thrown into the Upside Down. I still hold out hope that he doesn't end up being like the end villain, that season 5 is not going to be about beating Vecna, that it's going to be about beating the Upside Down.
That's possible. Yeah. That's possible. Still.
It is, because like when Dustin says Vecna is like the 5-star general, I do still believe that could be the case.
He just doesn't know it.
He just doesn't know it. His hubris is so big that he just thinks that he controls everything, but it's really the Upside Down has been controlling him. Okay. So this is my, that's also a prediction for season 5 for me. Yeah. And it's really a hope. I really hope that it is. That's the one thing that was really frustrating for me.
I interpreted that different.
How did you interpret it?
Like he gets thrown in there and then the Mind Flayer comes up almost like he would like with Will. Yeah. And I figured he just like took over one or Henry or whatever, Vecna, whatever you're talking about. And that's how he becomes the 5-star general for the Mind Flayer. But I guess I don't know.
He kind of puts his hand out and like makes it into the shape of the spider that he's been obsessed with his whole life.
Or maybe we're made to believe he does that.
See, the reason Kathleen and I don't like that is because we don't like Dustin to be wrong. Because
Dustin's always right. Yeah,
he's always right, and he's supposed to explain it to us, the audience. So it's like it's disorienting to have him be wrong. But anyway, we got a lot to talk about when we come back for the trailers and season 5 predictions.
Yeah.
All right, Kirk, you're rewriting, reimagining something you wish you'd gone differently.
Season 3, we're towards the end. Meat Flayer's coming up the road and the kids are at the cabin.
Yeah.
Get in the friggin' car.
Drive away.
And go. I don't know how they had enough time to try. Why is the plan to board up the cabin?
Also, they did not have that kind of time. If they could see the Meat Flayer moving through the trees, they did not have that kind of time.
This thing can go like 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, like in the next episode, they're driving away from that thing. It can't catch them. So get in the car, go 100 miles an hour, and get away from that thing. Let's not board up the tiny little cabin. We've got one gun and an axe.
Yeah. In fact, you probably had more time to drive. There was probably only enough time to drive away and not actually enough time to board up, which they show on the show. Yeah.
I wish they would have ran away somehow, drove away, led him to the mall, and then met up with Dustin there. Meat Flayer behind him somehow. But like them trying to defend the cabin, I'm like, oh man, I wish they would have done something different there.
Still, badass Lucas moment in that when he gets to finally get the axe and chop.
That was nice.
I think they needed that scene, though, to weaken 11.
Yeah, and show her ripping the Meat Flayer in half at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I guess could have done that at the mall, too.
Could have done that somewhere else, yeah. But, yeah, I was like, there's a better place for that.
That's a clunky scene, too, like, because it's, like, right at the mailboxes.
Yeah.
And then Jonathan's going to the shed to grab the axe, and then they're inside, and then Will's like, he's here. And it's like, yeah, it was, like, at the mailbox.
You didn't see that, Will? Were you standing behind somebody?
Why do you think Jonathan went to grab the axe?
Yeah. Just thought we needed to make a fire.
He's close. Yeah. All right. This you guys both did a great job, because I see this question and just I'm more on the internet than both of you, so everyone who's rewriting the show and stuff like that, there's just such a entitlement to it. There's such like a bad writing. You get to say that you want this thing, and but you don't even. A lot of times it's just bad comprehension. Like you just didn't know the details of what happened, and you just made your assumptions. But a lot of times it's also like oversimplification. They're like, Steve should have died in season 2. It's like, well, guess what? It's easy to say that, but now you have to deal with every ramification of what you don't have in season 3 and 4 now. And you gotta start piecing all those things together. And you don't have to do that. You know why? Because he lived. Because he's in the seasons. So I really had a hard time with this question, and I'm just gonna say my one here is not fixable, and you have to keep it as it is. But 11 surviving, disintegrating the Demogorgon at the end of season 1 doesn't make any sense. She just wakes up. The Demogorgon's dead, but she's fine.
And in the other side.
And then she's on the other side. And then, even though everyone else, Will couldn't get out of the upside down for a week, there's just a bunch of holes. And she just goes through one of the holes. And now I don't know how to solve the problem of having her stuck in the Upside Down for season 2. And like, so you kind of have to have her get out. So I accept that this is what happened. But as far as like what I wish wouldn't go differently, I wish it wouldn't have been so easy for 11 to just get out of there. Every time I watch her in the climactic scene of season 1, disintegrating that Demogorgon, I'm like, she'll be fine. She's just going to wake up and walk out of a locker.
Gosh. I don't know.
It's the same version of Hopper jumping over a railing.
That too, yeah.
Whatever.
Oh,
it's fine.
yeah,
We're eating
the
our
jumping
vegetables.
over the railing.
I want the characters to be alive, so I'm willing to swallow those pills. But
I kind of looked at that as like, those little mini gates open because the Demogorgon is near and it smells meat and it's hunting. So it has the ability to open these little gates. We already know 11 has the ability to open gates. So just her mere presence in the Upside Down, to me, is what I think allows her to like.
Maybe there's some sort of like
gates.
afterglow of her special like amplification. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can get behind that.
Okay.
The other thing I had was the show doesn't have any Michael Jackson. And
not yet.
Not yet. That's a good point. Now it was in the trailer of season 2. We had Thriller, but it just feels like it's a music rights thing, obviously, but like somebody should be a Michael Jackson fan in this time period of 83 to like Thriller is so huge in the season 1 and season 2. I don't know. Like Steve should have the red leather jackets. There should be some Michael Jackson in there. But
somebody should be wearing a glove.
It's the same with Prince. Like the reason for that.
Yes.
The reason for that is because they can't afford the rights, and it just takes me out of it. But I wish they'd be in it.
I feel like they could have said something about them, like done a little nod, like let me play Michael Jackson's new album. No, we're not going to play that. We're going to play that. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Squeeze it in. Just an honorable mention.
There's still time.
There's still time.
Yeah.
That's a great
You're
point.
right.
I think Bad is coming out pretty soon.
Okay.
He know me bad. He bad. Shimon.
I would love to hear some Prince too, man.
Oh yeah.
The whole world has to answer one thought. Just tell you once again who's bad. All right. What's the last question, Kathleen? I like you asking.
What is the most Stranger Things moment in the entire series? And what exactly does that mean, Miles?
So a single like scene or sequence that captures the heart, the tone. This is like the identity of the show, basically. Like, what do you think of when you think of the show?
Well, let me start this one,
Okay,
actually,
you start
because this is exactly the scene that you just pooped all over.
Oh, no!
To me, it's when 11 sacrifices herself to save all of her friends from the Demogorgon.
I mean, it's one of the best things in television history. I was pooping on it. I was nitpicking.
It shows the heart of it shows that at Stranger Things core, the heart is love and good conquering evil and sacrifice. Like that is what the whole show is all about. And you see that reflected in every single season, but it starts in season 1. Good conquering evil, sacrifice. It's just so powerful.
It is a masterpiece of a moment. Like I shouldn't have crapped over it. But it's about her coming back alive in season 2 that I really talked about.
And as we've said a billion times, the fact that season 1 could absolutely be a standalone season, and there could have been no other seasons of Stranger Things, and this would have been an absolute masterpiece. Mm-hmm. Now, thank God they decided not to stop making more Stranger Things, but it's just a masterpiece to me.
That was my runner-up. I almost picked that.
Even though you poo-pooed all over it.
I was trying to pick something I would rewrite, that I would change.
I know. It's hard to say that because we have such deep respect for the Duffer Brothers, so we don't want to presume that we would know what's best for Stranger Things.
And I did say I wouldn't change it because I don't want to have the problem of 11 being in the Upside Down, disintegrated,
and having to figure out how to deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. She's got to be with Hopper and got to be going through all that stuff in early season 2. The whole Hopper-11 relationship is not in season 1.
It's like asking what you would change about the Mona Lisa or a Van Gogh.
I don't think I'd go that far.
I'd have a big frown on her face. Mona Lisa, that little smirk. Come on.
She must have had the highway blues. You could tell by the way she smiled, Mona Lisa. Bob Dylan. All right. I'll go with mine. Mine is Hopper's letter at the end of season 3. And one of the reasons it captures so much is because the show is about growing up. Yeah. The show, to me, is the magic of the kids. And, like season 4 and season 5, I'm having fun. I like that we're doing kind of these horror, Nightmare on Elm Street stuff. But when I think of Stranger Things, I do think of growing up. And see, that end is like, you know what? What comes next is scarier. It's hard. It's not as magical. It's not as cool. They're all together. Yeah. They've been through this stuff, and it's just beautiful moment from a man who is trying to do the right thing and just doesn't have the words, and he's just he settles on just something so rich and so fulfilling.
And the way they used it, and just the fact that it is an ending, like. Each one of the first 3 seasons just ends. Yeah. Like, there's other shows that don't do this. They end with season 1 would probably end if this was Lost. Season 1 ends when Joyce and Hopper go into the Upside Down with their machine guns. Yes. Right. And they milk out the Hopper and Sarah story for another couple seasons and stuff like that. Stranger Things brings us stuff at the beginning, sets up the problem, and solves the problem by the end. Yeah.
I love that, and it feels Stranger Things to me. So Hopper's Letter is mine.
Yeah. Mine's from season 2.
We didn't even plan this, folks. We didn't plan this, folks.
I think it's the Mind Flayer episode. They're all together. Like, they're at Joyce's. Bob just got eaten, right?
Bob.
And they're trying to figure out what the Mind Flayer is. So it's like, you got the parents and you got Dustin trying to explain what the Mind Flayer is. Yeah. They explain it as a metaphor, and Lucas says it's an analogy. Is that really important right now? All of that. And then how do we defeat this guy? Because Hopper jumps in with the kids, and he's like, well, usually you just have a zombie horde or something.
Yeah.
But it's just like the innocence, and I like that they're all together. Like the Mike's there, Will's knocked out, Max is there, Lucas,
the adults, the teens, the kids,
even Nancy, Jonathan. I feel like none of them have really been in the same spot since really then, and they make that plan. To me, that makes this the most Stranger Things thing to me is them trying to make a plan. And it's not ever the good plan.
Yeah, and you see all of their personalities together.
Yeah. And it was nice to have them all at Joyce's too. To me, I always think of Joyce's as kind of core Stranger Things. Yeah. And just to have them all there just trying to figure something out that they completely don't understand, dealing with Bob just getting eaten by 4 Demogorgons.
And sharing their pieces of information from that they've gathered through the season, the plot lines all coming together.
Yeah, and it's still silly, Dustin's like Demodogs, and they're just like, what? The Demodogs, Demogorgons with dogs. Shut up, Dustin.
It's funny that you say Joyce's house is kind of the heart of the heart of things, because I feel like they could end up back at Joyce's house because
for season 5.
Yeah, the whole town is on fire and everything. A lot of people left town. So the people who bought her house could have, up and left, and they're just going to be like,
I think they're in a little bit of hiding, though. We're not talking season 5.
I know, right?
They could hide. Where better else to hide than in an abandoned house?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, but
that you used to live in.
I really liked. I feel those are really good ones. I almost picked kind of those scenes where they're connecting the plot lines together as well.
Yeah.
The one I thought of was the Starcourt when they're in the mall. Kind of this, it's almost the exact same thing, except for it's in the mall, but all the different plot lines are there.
Yeah.
And Robin and Steve and Dustin are like, there's a huge Russian base. And they're like, that's where the monster is? They're like, what monster?
Yeah.
And then the monster group are like, wait, there's a Russian base.
Right?
And all comes together and they make that first plan that, of course,
never really works out the way they planned it. But it's always a good enough plan to get along with while you're watching it.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's nice when they're all in the same place. It's kind of what season 4 just a little too spread out for me on that one. But
you constantly want them all to be together. Yeah. So when they are, it just feels good. It feels right.
And it's going to happen in season 5. Season 4 is The Empire Strikes Back. It's the setup. We got to get it for season 5.
Yeah. Although, a lot of people think that we're losing some people here for season 5. That's another episode.
I don't want to die. Yeah.
I don't want anybody to die.
If the 12th question was who you thought was going to die, you would have an answer. You'd say nobody.
I would say
that's my answer.
So who I think is going to die is I think nobody. Yeah, none of the main characters. Maybe 11. And the reason I say that is because I think the 11 was supposed to die in season 1. And I think they're just like, how are we going to make 4 more seasons? Well, we'll just delay that ending.
Yeah.
And then we'll bring that question of who was this girl and how did she have good in her heart after being raised in a lab?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I feel like there's going to be some sort of self-sacrifice to
Could be
save the
Will.
group. Yeah.
Could be Will.
Yeah.
Or, you know what? Could be Joyce.
Ooh.
Joyce to sacrifice herself to
no.
finally rid Will and Jonathan of that world. Couldn't you see that?
I hate all of this.
And you need Winona to do something special too, because that's
my
the most famous person in your cast.
I hate all of this.
I'll tell you who it's not going to be. Dustin.
Not going to be
Dustin ain't going down. Dustin's perfectly fine.
My hope is that everyone survives, and I don't even want to entertain the idea of anybody else leaving.
We've said it before, and I'll close it with this. Return of the Jedi, Forest Moon of Endor. We want our characters just singing Yub Nub.
Yep. We're fine with that. I'm okay with that. I don't want anybody to die.
I love happy endings. Give me the happy ending I want.
It's weird that that's an obsession of people online. Like, who's got to die? I don't know. Like,
it's part of betting culture, FanDuel and stuff.
people got a long bet.
If someone did die, everyone would be like, "Oh, now someone dies." Like they wouldn't even win. The Duffers can't win either way.
Yeah. Right.
All right. My name's Miles.
I'm Kathleen.
I'm Kirk.
We'll be back for season 5.
Thank you for joining us.